Ladies and gentlemen, it's indeed a great pleasure for me to be opening the summit and to welcome you here. It's my role to say a few opening remarks and just to say to you, we built an organization on the simple idea of making people healthier. It is a simple idea on one hand. On the other, it's, I think, quite profound, and it's taken us on a remarkable journey. And I think when you say, let's make the nation healthier, let's make a company healthier, let's make the world healthier, there's kind of a feeling that it's not really realistic. It's too difficult, it can't be done. But it can be done, and I believe it will be done. And to an extent, I would say to you that thought that we can't shift society is based on three errors. The first error is what I would say is a cognitive error. The second error is a factual error. And the third error is a behavioral error. So the question is, why is that relevant in the context of making people healthier, making a nation healthier? In fact, why is it relevant to a lot of things that I think we face, challenges? I'll tell you why. It's actually fantastic, and it's a very, very exciting outcome, I believe. Because if you accept that the world is Gaussian, right, bell-shaped, then to shift a system, you've got to shift the entire curve. You follow? Because if you believe things are normal, it's got to stay normal. You've got to shift every individual, every behavior, every single thing. You've got to change to shift the world. And that's how we think. So we think about, let's change the nation, or let's get some individual who's in bad health or unfit to change their entire life. It seems insurmountable, but it's not, because the world is not like that. The world is Pareto. And in a Pareto system, it's about changing the tail, changing one or two activities in the tail that drives the whole system. You follow me? One decision today can change your entire life. One individual who's in bad shape, physically inactive, decides to go to gym just once. That's an activity in the tail. If they do that, who knows? They get hooked, they go again, and suddenly the system gets dragged across by the tail. And to an extent, that's the cognitive error, and that's what the summit is about. It's activity in the tail. Collectively, we can change society by focusing on the tail. That's the first important error. It's a cognitive error. The second error I would call a factual error. The factual error is we tend to think that that's the case. When we think about making people healthier, we think about the complexity of medical science and what's required to do that. It turns out we're learning more and more that's not the case. What we're seeing today is this very simple idea of 3, 4, 50. 3 behavior choices: smoking, poor nutrition, poor physical activity. 3 of them lead to 4 conditions: diabetes, cancer, respiratory disease, heart disease, that drive 50% of all mortality. Isn't that amazing? 3 choices. Forget about the complexity of medicine and what goes with that. It's actually, these are lifestyle choices that people make explicitly. And that is a factual error. We don't realize how powerful those choices tend to be. I still come from an environment, my parents still will tell me, exercise is bad for you, you've got to be careful. We were talking before as if you've got a certain number of heartbeats, you know what I mean? Don't burn them up unnecessarily, you know what I'm saying? But we're learning more and more about just the simplicity of lifestyle choices. And so we make a factual error when we think about how big the problem really is. And then the final error is a behavioral error, because if you accept that just 3 choices lead to 50% of mortality, the simple central question has to be, why do people make these choices? Why do they make that behavioral choice? And you'll hear more and more over the day. We've got some really brilliant speakers here today that are real experts in behavioral economics and why people make these choices. But in healthcare, we know more and more that people make irrational choices. So the concepts of hyperbolic discounting, that people want instant gratification. People tend to be overly optimistic. But in total, we know that healthcare is overconsumed, wellness is underconsumed. And the question is why? And the answer lies in just the irrationality of people. A simple answer I'd give you. When it comes to healthcare, the price of healthcare at the point of service is free. It's paid for by health insurance or medical aids or governments in many countries. So at the point of care, healthcare is free. But the benefits are immediate. You get treatment, you get care, you see your doctor, whatever that is, and people feel gratification from that. So they tend to overconsume. Wellness is the opposite dynamic. The price is high. You've got to go for that run you don't want to go for. You've got to avoid the foods that you really want to eat. You've got to stop smoking that you really want to do. So the price is immediate, but the benefits are 40 years down the line. And therefore people tend to underconsume. And so the behavioral error is kind of concealing the simple factual inaccuracy that 3 types of behavior are driving 50% of all mortality. So I put it to you that it isn't difficult to change the system if we accept that activity in the tail can change the entire system, if we accept that just 3 conditions is where that tail operates, and importantly, just normalizing, in a sense, behavioral choices, understanding how to do that. That's complex, but understanding how to do that, we can change society completely. So we're learning more and more about how, in a sense, to change behavior. But I guess the main thing I want to leave you with is the idea that we as an organization have a simple vision. By 2018, we want to make 15 million people healthier. That's our idea globally. Our belief is if we can do that, we can inform them, change their behavior. 15 million people is enough in different societies to create kind of behavioral change. I believe it's doable. So that's what today is about to an extent. It's about extending this idea of making people healthier, making companies healthier, making society healthier. I believe it's absolutely and totally doable. Once again, I welcome you here, and I hope you find the next few days instructive, enjoyable. There's some really, really good speakers over the day in the plenary sessions and some really good activities. So thank you for attending and wishing you just only success. Thank you.